Yeah, we got a little bit of rain last night, just enough to put water on my boots, and perfect amount to settle the dust in the field. Welcome back to the show, everybody. Last weekend we had our antique tractor get-together plow day where we turned over 9 acres behind me, and a lot of people in the comment section were wondering what happens next. Well, we're gonna reseed it today, put in a fresh hay crop. So here's the supplies. I went with a premium mix from my local feed outlet with a little bit of red clover to throw in. And the contents of the premix is a tall fescue, orchard grass, festuloleum, and perennial ryegrass. Put a little bit of red clover in along with that. We'll be fixed right up. All the rest of the bags are all fertilizer because our soil is so poor. Actually, it's not even soil, it's dirt and rocks. Seriously closer to being road gravel than it is agricultural land. But we just go out here and have fun. That's the whole name of the game. And I'm broadcasting all of this. Now, I used to own a grain drill, and the last time I used it was 2019, and it was on this very same field out here. So the grain drill episode could be found right here, and I'll also throw a link in the description below. It worked very, very well for putting in hay crop, but I used it so seldom, and it was way too nice of a machine to just sit so much and deteriorate like what's happening under my stewardship. So I sold it, and now we're back to the broadcaster. And 9 acres seems like quite a bit for a little machine like this. That's actually not going to go too bad. One of the questions that came up quite a bit under the plow day video was, do you plow every year? Do you roll the sod every year? And no. While we do go around to enough different fields that we do plow something every year, roughly 3 to 5 years is the turnover rate on one of our hay fields here. And that's primarily because it's such poor soil. And we don't farm in a manner that puts anything back into it. This is hay crop, hay ground. So every time we hay it, we take away. And then it regens back the next year. Then we hay it again, and we take a little bit more away, and it regens back a little bit less. And eventually it's ready to be turned over again and completely reset. Empty hopper. We can shut that off. So I've got the whole backfield seeded and fertilized. I have not started in up there. We're doing this roughly in thirds. This will be like the first 1/3 of the work. So let's find a good place. Yeah, right here. Look on the ground. See all those little white and red pellets? That's fertilizer. And we have plenty of small little grass seeds, hay seeds. And we've covered, this is roughly 3 acres. We've done the whole thing. So now what I'll do is work it back in. I'm replicating like the job that I could do with a grain drill without having a grain drill anymore. I'm going to take the disc and do a once over. That should mix it in really well. And then we'll probably roll it back flat again after that. So back to the red shed. Now we get some real power out. That's right, everybody. Super W-4. I haven't done anything with this tractor as far as work. I haven't even really done anything beyond the initial oil change and rough check over. But I think this is the perfect little outing to throw the little tandem case disc on behind, and we'll just see how it does out here. It won't have to work too hard. Maybe we'll break down. The generator doesn't work, so we're just running off a battery, so we'll either run out of juice or run out of gas, whichever happens first. Till then, let's just have some fun. Well, that didn't last long. I think I've got a dirty carburetor. Oh well. Nope, that's all she had. Oh, got off the disc and tried to make it back to the shop, back to the building. We might be towing it. The old Super M's always up for some work. I think Senior worked his carburetor magic on the Super W-4. He's got it as far as the field. What's the word?
Ain't missed the beat yet.
Should we hook up and see if it wants to play?
Well, that's what I would do.
Sure, let's go. Now, the no-till agriculture conversation comes up under every one of these Plow Day episodes. I've just come to expect it. But the type of no-till practices that most refer to deal more with crop rotation, where you put one species in one year and then you take it out and you put a different species in another year and then you alternate back and forth. What one takes out of the soil, the other will put back in, and you do minimum tillage between them, and that helps to keep your topsoil more intact, and it actually grows topsoil. And we all understand that, but you can't really do that in a hay crop, because the whole point of a hay crop is to build a thick sod layer that caps over the top of the soil. So the best way you can no-till a hay crop is to nourish a hay crop once it's been established. And typically the best way to do that is through running livestock, where they can reincorporate manure back in either through grazing or you saving it up and manually reapplying it. And I'm not about to run livestock anytime soon. The investment is cost prohibitive. So being that I only replant this about once every 5 years and it runs about $1,000 to $1,500 every 5 years, that's plenty manageable for a hobby. And we're out here to have fun. I mainly bought this acreage so that I'd have tractor habitat, as I call it, and we all want to have a place to plow, and we like to plow, and that's really all that you see here. Well, Senior, yeah, I think he did the trick with that carburetor. It hasn't missed a beat. I don't know what to think about this tractor because I don't have any seat time in it, but I've been watching the temp gauge and we are just between the run and the hot, and it's held right there for most of this patch. It doesn't act like it's overheating and it doesn't sound like it's running hot. Thought I'd idle it here for just a minute to see if it crept back, but so far it's holding right there. It might just be the gauge. It's hard to say, but the disc seems like it's doing just enough of a shallow cut. We're just burying the seeds. So I've got this field over halfway done right now, and we'll be rolling it next. So I think we'll keep on. What the heck is that? I see something in the field. It's white. Huh. Wilson Staff golf ball. Where did this come from? I've never golfed in my life. I've never hit a golf ball in my life. The nearest neighbor is a quarter mile that way. Either they have a heck of a swing or a dog brought it down here and dropped it. Back here on the edge of nothing. Yeah, golf ball. Now, every one of these little nubs acts like a finger that's just poking those seeds and that fertilizer tightly into the soil, as well as just the rest of those heavy rollers as well. And that's going to help to keep the moisture that's in the soil tight against the seed, and it aids in germination. Now, this would be a really nice roller. It's a Brilliant, but it's a Rick Bork roller. So if any of these seed boxes worked, we could have just seeded and rolled it at the same time. Been done. But good luck with that. So we're just using it to pack everything in now, and there's the difference. Everything's loose, everything's nice and tight. Well, everybody, it's the following day. I'm dirty. The Super M is also quite dirty. Yeah. But the field is done. I performed all the same steps to the main part, roughly 6 acres up here. You watched me do the 3 acres back there yesterday. I'll bring you all back after I clean up just a bit. Getting windy. Poor Scully. Oh, he's getting blown over. We need to close the door. I got you, Scully. I'm on it. Hang on, bud. There. Now we're safe. Sorry you had to experience that. Okay, I'm cleaned up. The Super M is cleaned back up. After action report on the machines, the Super W-4. After Senior fiddled with the carburetor, we brought it back out and it ran well, it pulled well, the governor responded like it should. It really needs a proper carburetor rebuild, as well as a good ignition tune-up. A lot of this stuff is looking pretty old, but for a tractor that basically came off the consignment auction lot, was offloaded here, and I just checked it over and greased it, its performance was on par with my expectations. We'll say that. It does need work, but it's got good bones. Super M, as long as you can afford to feed this tractor, it's thirsty. You hit the key and it'll perform all day long, and it'll do whatever you need it to do for as long as you need it to do it. It takes a while for me to get completely through one of these machines, but the proof is right there. If you make everything right, it'll treat you well. Now, getting back to the sustainable farming conversation that we touched on earlier, make no mistake, what you're seeing here is just us having fun out in really poor ground. That's where it begins, that's where it ends. There is no master plan. But if you want to see what I think is probably the best example of a self-sustaining farm, more specifically, a self-sustaining hay system, I would refer you to Just a Few Acres Farm YouTube channel. So Pete that runs that channel, he has not a huge tract of land, hence the Just a Few Acres name, but he has a herd of cows that is very appropriately matched to the acreage that he has available. And he explains in detail the process and the thinking, the methodology behind how he initiates a hay crop and then reinvests into it, nourishes it. And to me, that is really the right and proper way of doing it. What we're doing out here, like I said, you're just watching a bunch of pretend farmers having fun. If you want to see how I think it really should be done, go check out Pete's channel. Once again, Just a Few Acres Farms. So hay crop is in. All we do now is wait for rain. 4 days from now, the forecast is looking promising, and there's nothing like that first rainfall on a fresh seeding to put a guy right back in a good mood again. So I hope you all enjoyed this episode. I hope it was somewhat informative, and you have a pretty good idea of everything that's happening here. So all I can say is thank you for watching, and hope to see you back for the next adventure.